Bubba, the redneck adventurer, decides to buy a hang glider. Eager to try it out, he takes it to the highest mountain point. After a strenuous climb, he reaches the summit and prepares for his maiden flight. Running toward the edge, he leaps and takes off into the wind. Meanwhile, Ma and Pa are relaxing on the porch swing, reminiscing about the good old days when Ma notices an enormous bird in the sky. It's the biggest bird she's ever seen.
"Look at the size of that bird, Pa!"
she exclaims. Pa straightens up, declaring,
"Give me my gun, Ma!"
Ma hurries into the house, returning with his pump shotgun. Pa takes careful aim and fires, with a series of shots echoing through the air. Bang! 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 However, the colossal bird appears unaffected and continues to glide silently over the treetops.
"I think you missed him, Pa,"
Ma observes.
"Yeah,"
Pa replies.
"but at least he let go of Bubba."
A wealthy couple had planned to go out for the evening. The woman of the house decided to give their butler, James, the rest of the night off. She told James they would be home very late and that he should just enjoy his evening. As it turned out, however, the wife wasn't having a good time at the party, so she came home early alone. Her husband had to remain there as several of his important clients were in attendance. As the woman walked into her house, she saw James sitting by himself in the dining room. She called for him to follow her, then led him into the master bedroom. She looked at him and smiled.
"James,"
she said,
"take off my dress."
James carefully removed her dress.
"James,"
she continued,
"now take off my stockings and garter."
He silently obeyed her commands.
"James,"
she then said,
"remove my bra and panties."
As he did this, the tension continued to mount. Finally, she said,
"James, don't ever let me catch you wearing my clothes again."
A man is spending a Sunday at the park with his 3 young children. They are all enjoying the sunny afternoon when one of his daughters comes up to him and tugs on his shirt sleeve.
"Daddy, Daddy!"
She says. "Yes, dear, what is it?" asks the father.
"Daddy, why is my name Daisy?"
The young girl asks. "Well, dear, when you were born, a daisy blew through the window and landed on your head. So your mother and I decided to name you Daisy," her father replies. Hearing their conversation, the man's other daughter asks,
"Daddy, what about me? Why is my name Rose?"
"Well, when you were born, a rose fell on your head. So we decided to name you Rose,"
her father answers. Suddenly, his son pipes up,
"My favorite color is potato."
The father glances over his shoulder at his son and says, "How nice, Brick." A man was on his way home from a party when he was pulled over by a police officer. As the officer approached the vehicle, he noticed a large number of knives in the back seat. Looking at the driver, he asked,
"Sir, do you have a good reason for needing all those large knives?"
Smiling, the driver said,
"Why, yes, I juggle them."
Realizing the officer was giving him a skeptical look, the driver said,
"Officer, with your permission, I'd be more than glad to give you a demonstration."
Cautiously, the officer stepped back and said,
"All right, but you'd better be telling the truth."
Soon, the man was on the side of the road, tossing the knives high into the air with ease. 2 old men happened to drive by, and both gazed in astonishment. One of the men looked at the other and said,
"Sure am glad I gave up drinking. These sobriety tests are getting ridiculous."
The forest animals decided that they didn't like stepping on poop every day, so they got together and built an outhouse. Everything was great, and the forest floor was much cleaner after that. But one day, they found out that the window on the outhouse was broken. So they held a meeting and asked if anybody knew anything about the broken window. Sheepishly, the rabbit said,
"I'm
I'm a bit embarrassed, but last night I was using the outhouse when the bear came in. He grabbed me, did his business, then he wiped his bottom with me and threw me out the window.
The animals reprimanded the bear and made him fix the window. After a couple of days, the door was smashed. Another meeting was called, and again the animals were asked if anybody knew anything about the broken door. Sheepishly, the fox said,
I am a bit embarrassed, but last night as I was using the outhouse, the bear came in. He did the same thing with me as with the rabbit a few days ago, but he threw me out through the door.
So the animals again reprimanded the bear, made him repair the door, and explained as best as possible that this behavior will not be tolerated. Then, 2 days later, the whole outhouse was destroyed. It was completely smashed to pieces. Again, a meeting was called to find out if anybody knew anything about it. Sheepishly, the porcupine said,
Oh, I'm a bit embarrassed.
A passenger was in the back of a taxi when he leaned forward and tapped the driver on the shoulder. Suddenly, the driver screamed loudly, lost control of the car, swerved onto the footpath, and stopped just inches away from a shop window. Everything went quiet in the car as both the driver and passenger sat in shock.
Are you okay?
The driver finally asked.
Sorry about that, but you scared the living daylights out of me.
The passenger apologized to the driver. I didn't know just a little tap on the shoulder would startle someone so much.
No, it's my fault,
The driver replied.
Today is my first day as a taxi driver. I've been driving a hoist for 25 years.
While walking home from work, a businessman comes across an old lamp. He gently rubs it and out pops a genie. The genie informs the man that he may have one wish. The man is incredibly grateful and says,
This is perfect timing. I have a really important presentation to give to the CEO of my company in a couple of days, and I really need it to go smoothly.
Very well,
says the genie.
All you need to do before the presentation is say 1, 2, 3, and you'll deliver the best presentation of your life. However, do not say 1, 2, 3, 4, as this will cause you to freeze up and make a fool of yourself. Do you understand?
The man says he does and continues on his way home. At home, he follows the genie's instructions and the presentation goes perfectly. He tries it at work the next day and his colleagues give him a standing ovation. The day of the presentation comes and he is now ready. As the CEO signals him to begin, he whispers under his breath,
1, 2, 3.
The CEO interrupts.
What did you say 1, 2, 3 for?
A man walks into a bar with a 10-foot-tall giraffe. The man orders a beer for both himself and the giraffe. The bartender thinks this is a bit peculiar, but serves them the 2 beers anyway. After the man and the giraffe finish their beers, they order more. Then they order even more beers. And even more. Despite the strange stares from the other bar patrons, they proceed to drink themselves silly. After about a dozen or so beers, the giraffe stands up, wobbles, then passes out on the floor. At this, the man stands up as well, settles his bar bill, and begins to walk out of the bar. The bartender shouts,
Hey, you idiot! You can't leave that lying here!
The man stops, turns around, and replies, Idiot? You're the idiot. That's a giraffe. After being married for over 25 years, I looked at my wife one day and said, Honey, 25 years ago, we had a cheap apartment, a cheap car, slept on a sofa bed, and watched a 10-inch black and white TV. But I got to sleep every night with a hot 25-year-old blonde. Now we have a nice house, nice car, big bed, and plasma screen TV, but I'm sleeping with a 50-year-old woman. It seems to me that you're not holding up your side of things. My wife is a very reasonable woman. She told me to go out and find a hot 25-year-old blonde, and she would make sure that I would once again be living in a cheap apartment, driving a cheap car, and sleeping on a sofa bed. Jack, age 92, and Jill, aged 89, are all excited about their decision to get married. They go for a stroll to discuss the wedding, and on the way, they pass a pharmacy. Jack suggests they go in. Jack addresses the man behind the counter. "Are you the owner?" The pharmacist says,
Yes, I am.
Jack asks, "Do you sell heart medication?" The pharmacist replies,
Of course we do.
Jack then asks, "How about medicine for circulation?"
All kinds, answers the pharmacist.
"Medicine for rheumatism?" asks Jack.
Definitely,
Says the pharmacist. Jack asks, "How about suppositories?"
you bet.
Replies the pharmacist. "Medicine for arthritis?" asks Jack. The pharmacist replies,
Yes, we have a large variety. The works.
Jack asks, "What about vitamins and sleeping pills?" The pharmacist replies,
Absolutely. What can I get for you?
Jack replies, "Well, nothing at the moment. But we'd like to use this store for our wedding registry."